and welcome to the No Ceilings podcast on the Turtlesmith network. What's up, Vincent?
What's going on, Courtney?
Oh, nothing much. It's warming up a little bit out there.
Just a little warm out there, in here, everywhere.
In here, everywhere. Dang, shirt a little thick.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
Pants a little thick.
All of that. Man.
Yeah.
Well, what's been going on this week, man?
Man, lifing, doing a little work. Doing, the new thing right now, ortho appointments.
What?
Orthodontics for the braces,
Oh, okay.
tune-ups, and all of that stuff.
Okay.
Every other week now. It's like probably the next one's like 6 weeks out, but like it seemed like it's been every other week. It's another orthodontist appointment. My oldest son, he has braces. The next one, he's getting lined up for braces.
Okay. See, that's what I was going to say. Now, which one are we talking about?
Both of them.
All of them.
Yeah, all of them.
Any of them.
They got their daddy teeth.
My Lord. Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, good luck with that.
Yep.
Other than that, I have not much going on. It is just warm.
Mm-hmm.
And just I do have something. So on yesterday we had a visitor. And, when people say visitor, they're like, what, you got roaches or something? No, it wasn't that.
Your cousins came through.
No. So, okay, I'm going to tell you what happened. So, I'm sitting at my desk, and I am on the telephone, and I hear this knocking noise because I'm trying to calculate some numbers, and I keep hearing this knocking noise. And I thought Walter, like, maybe had fallen or that he was knocking stuff over. I didn't know what was going on. I said, hold on. Can you hold on for just a second? And so I turned around, and I looked, and nobody was there. And then I looked at the office door, and the office door was closed, and I said, oh, so he's in the office. I looked up, and I was scared to go in my room because I was like, somebody's in there, right? And as I began to walk into the room, I heard the clacking noise. It felt like something was falling or bumping against something. It was like boom, boom, boom. And I'm like, what is that? I looked, and it was something hitting on my window, my back window. It was a dragon-tailed snapping turtle. It was.
I got one of those too.
You got what?
No, I'm just.
Oh, stop playing with me. Because I looked and listen, this sucker was big, okay?
Can you pull one of those up?
Yeah. Can you pull one up? Do you need me to send
quick.
you the picture of the one that was sitting on my back patio? Bro looked like this.
Whoa.
Huge, right?
Whoa.
And so I was on the phone with my daddy, so I didn't get a chance to get the video of him being rescued or carried away or whatever the case may be.
Yo, that thing is big.
So, I told the person I was on the phone with that I had to go.
Mm-hmm.
And then Walter came in, and he's looking, and he's like, he was going to let the dog out. He's like, don't let the dog outside.
Right.
I think he was shook. He was just as shook as I was. Because do you see the tail?
That thing is huge.
Like huge. And what he was doing in this picture, that's when I saw him and I took the picture. But what he was trying to do was climb up onto my patio furniture.
Right.
And so he kept falling down.
Right. Okay.
Dummy. And so, long story short, we know we have one neighbor that just loves all of the animals, reptiles, whatever. And he decides that we went down and got him, and he was like, "Oh yes, glad it's good that you guys didn't." He says, "Good that you guys didn't decide to go out there and mess with him, or he'd have snapped you. He'd got you."
Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to have an animal rescue at some point in my life. And, it was cool. Like, we know to call on him because he's great.
Yeah.
And so he was like, just give me a second. I'll go get the net and I'll get him.
Why you got me so animated?
He's
for
from
real?
California. And so he's got that surfer vibe. I love it. I love everything about him. And so he's like, yeah.
It's funny because that's the...
Okay. So, yeah, he's like, yeah, I'll get the net and I'll get him and everything will be great.
So Finding Nemo, that's the voice of the turtle. So I guess it kind of all.
Works together. Yeah. That's
I got too many kids.
Yeah, you do, because they do sound like that
Yeah,
surfer turtle.
right.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, long story short, he comes with the net. He brings his son with him. Like, the turtle is fighting. Like, this is his territory, bro.
Right.
He was like, he had his foot up on the side of my patio, and he's pushing against it like that, and his little neck is coming out. And
Yeah.
he just looked crazy. It was crazy. I've never experienced anything like that in my life.
That's pretty wild. I wasn't expecting that one.
So he scoops bro up, takes him on. He's like, I hate to do this, but I got to put him in the pond. You know, that's the only place I could probably take him. He said, because I don't really want him to eat up the ducks in the pond, because they eat ducks or something like that. And I was like, okay, well, I don't care. Thanks. Have a good day. I appreciate you so much. I'm going to bake him some cookies.
Yeah.
I'm going to get him some cookies.
I don't care.
Yeah, get him out of here.
Right.
Because if we would have just let Ace outside, or my
Oh,
daughter
yeah, you would've got
went
him.
outside, because you know she lives out on the back
Right,
patio.
right. She love it back there.
Like, she'd be like, oh my God, it's a turtle.
Right.
This is so cute.
Yeah. And try to, yeah.
That'd have been all bad.
Yeah.
So
Well, you know all that flooding and stuff we've been having, so I'm not surprised.
that's what they said. He said all that flooding, he probably had to come up out of the mud. Mm-hmm. So with that being said, that was my that was
Adventure for the week. The Ogles adventure for the week.
great adventures, whatever. Anyway, so let's get into our topic.
Man, let's
so
get into it.
What we talking about today?
Man, we got riches and niches.
Niches.
Yeah, so I got that out right.
You did.
I got you. Right,
No
so
tongue tie there.
just there are certain industries that you can get into and make money, have a lucrative business, and everything's pretty much already set up for you. You know, all you need is a truck or a car, a vehicle, and if you don't have those, you can also rent those. You know, if you could run this clip real quick, then I'll talk about a couple of key points about this business.
What's up, y'all? It's Keychain with K&J Logistics, Transportation and Logistics LLC out of Atlanta, Georgia. Shout out to D for asking me the question. First steps I took to get up and running. So the first steps I took to get up and running, D, was I literally got on Indeed and I started searching. I searched let me turn down the radio, sorry. I started searching what am I trying to say? Independent contractor, owner operator, cargo van on Indeed. I got on Craigslist and search. I end up having a meeting with a company that pretty much contracted and got me on. So I tell anybody, go on Indeed in your area, put in independent contractor, sprinter van, independent contractor, cargo van.
Okay, so that was a good clip. It was very hood boogerish, but she dropped some very good information in that video. The independent contractor cargo van business is a very lucrative business. You can transport car parts, medicine, food, people, all kind of different things you can transport, and it's a business for all of that stuff.
Okay.
There's platforms for it that are already set up for you to just go in there, put your information in, your availability, and what you're able to do as far as how much weight you can transport and carry on your load.
Okay.
And they take that information, sign you up with a load. You can be doing a load that same day.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
That's
And,
interesting.
you know, you're talking about anywhere from $25 to $40 an hour just on the regular everyday end of everything.
You know, I have seen on Lord, brain fart. YouTube, like sometimes, you know how you sometimes I'll play YouTube because I'm watching for something, and then those little ads will come on, or
Right.
after my video finishes playing, then another video will come on. One night I was sitting there, and there was a guy that said that he did like medical transport. And I don't think that it was anywhere here, but he was naming off a lot of companies that do it.
Right.
And, you know, I jotted it down, and I was like, I'll look back at this later. And I went and looked, and a lot of those places are great, and they seem like they really work. But there aren't very many for Oklahoma. Oklahoma is not like a hub spot,
Right.
and so you have to be really strategic in Oklahoma and finding those places and getting in without it already being saturated. I think.
Right. However, I mean, there's a ton of these type of opportunities here in Oklahoma and other states as well. Me personally,
I noticed Texas was big.
yeah. I mean, you think about it's a big market, plenty of stuff to be supplied, people to supply things to. Me personally, I've done this same business in delivering car parts for Fred Jones, Bob Howard, PDC, all these places that do maintenance on vehicles. How do you think your car gets fixed in that same week if the car part is, on the other end of Oklahoma or is coming from California? It has to get to your car dealer some type of way. And cargo truck deliveries is how that stuff gets there 9 times out of 10. It's not on a big 18-wheeler. It may come off an 18-wheeler to a smaller distributor, and then those are taking it to the other hubs.
That's dope.
Yeah, so I've done that personally. Even doing deliveries for food with DoorDash, Lyft, Uber. Those platforms, I know Lyft and Uber for sure, they allow you to rent a vehicle and do deliveries on their platforms as well.
Gotcha.
Then you have like Amazon, Walmart. Those are also companies that allow independent contractors to have cargo trucks and deliver their products. Yeah, it's very lucrative business. People make a living off of it. People also do that just as a side hustle. They may do it on a few days out the week after work or on the weekend is make $500 to $1,000 a week just doing that.
Okay. I mean, I think that if people can do it, let's do. I mean, I think that it's a great opportunity. I think that it would be good. I feel like people that are out there doing it aren't sharing the information.
I think, what I think it is.
It's hard.
I don't think people are really gatekeeping. I think the information is out there, and either you're going to take advantage of it or you're not. Because there's a lot of people. Because I do these same businesses like right now.
Right. Okay.
And there's a ton of people doing it. The thing is, I always say that everybody's lifestyle is going to be different. You may feel like everybody's doing this right now, blah, 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 but everybody can't take all the money.
Of course not.
You know what I mean?
Not.
So there's.
But is there? I guess my question is there a community of people? Like, do y'all have a community? Is there? I just want to know. Like, this is good information. You get what I'm saying? And so, for somebody like I said, it just popped up one day, and I was just like, oh, let me jot that down. Maybe this is some information for somebody. But when I started to try to research it, yes, I found stuff, but I didn't find anything tailored to Oklahoma. And so what I'm saying is, like, is there a Facebook group? Do y'all come to Facebook and talk about it?
There are definitely Facebook groups. For me, it's just, just knowing people, talking to certain people and stuff like that, just being in the right place at the right time, getting lucky, I guess you can say. But I don't think it's just, for me, it hasn't just been like a hidden gatekeeping thing. I can't speak for everyone's experience, but for me, it's been available.
Yeah. I think a lot of people, that's kind of how a lot of people feel. People that I've talked to, they feel like whatever, and it's not this industry in particular, but just in certain industries, they can't find a way in. And they'll try to talk to people, and people will give you like surface level information, but it's like they don't want to give you the jewels because they're like, oh, well, they gonna be stepping on my toes.
You have those people in everywhere. Industry, every industry really.
And so it's I think that if we could potentially come with, a little bit more information that, would be helpful to somebody who takes interest in
Right.
this. I think that that's good. But I mean, overall, I think the reality is that no matter what business you have, there are riches in niches. So,
Definitely.
I kind of spoke before we started. I kind of spoke about a company that is a vendor for people, and then they turn around and they found other ways to make money within that same industry,
Right.
by making sales, by upselling different products. And so there you may start out in your start out doing one thing, and it may lead to multiple streams of incomes within that same niche.
Right.
So, you can teach a class, you can sell an ebook. There's so many different things that you can do. You can take the information that you're putting together and turn around and sell it in some way, shape, or form to
Definitely.
make additional streams of income.
I like that with the class part.
Yeah.
With any industry that you're a professional in, I feel like you can give a class. If you're a professional, then you can give a class with plumbing, HVAC.
Yeah.
What's the one? Oh, my buddy, he does concrete. Shout out to Concrete Design Specialist. They do epoxy and stain, and they can actually come out and teach you how to do that process yourself if you don't want to pay, for
they
someone to
charge
do
you.
that, or you just want to have the knowledge to do it. You
Yeah.
know, you might have multiple homes that you want to service yourself,
Yeah.
and take a class.
Yeah. I mean, and I mean, we've talked about that in season 1.
Right.
You want to be able to. You're kind of considered an expert when you can teach a class.
Right,
That's the
absolutely.
goal. And so, if you can do that, then you well on your way.
Definitely. I would say if you were interested in getting into the independent contractor business, definitely do what the young lady in the clip said. Go on to Indeed, search for independent contractor, cargo box, or just delivery opportunities, and you will see a ton of that stuff pop up.
She did say something that concerned me a little bit.
What was that? Because
I can't let it go.
I was concerned about a lot.
Yeah. Craigslist. I back in the day, Craigslist was the ish, but I feel like and indeed, honestly, when you're on some of these platforms, people are scamming everywhere. And so
Definitely.
I don't want to say that Craigslist is not a reputable source to use. And I'm not saying that about Indeed either. All I'm saying is be very, very careful.
Oh yeah.
And,
definitely.
when you're looking at this stuff, because some people are looking at this and they're like, it's so many opportunities, man. I'm typing in all my information. Be careful. Don't just type your information in, and next thing you know, all your stuff on the black web, and
Man.
it's all bad.
Yeah.
And don't have good credit, baby. So you be all anyway. With that being said, be careful. I think that this might be something that some people are definitely interested in, especially with the current climate that we're in. So yeah, if this is something that you're interested in, do your research and press on.
Press on.
All right. Now, our spotlight for today's episode is on the one and only Madam C.J. Walker. For those who don't know who Madam C.J. Walker is, she was an entrepreneur, philanthropist, and activist. Madam C.J. Walker, born Sarah Breedlove. She was born December 23rd, 1867. She was an orphan by the age of 7. By 14, she was married. And by the age of 21, she was widowed. So just the beginning of her story is kind of sad, but she actually got to the point where she did remarry. She moved out to where her brothers were, and I believe it was St. Louis. And her brothers were barbers, and she was making like $1.50 a day, and she ended up falling in love with her other husband. I can't think of what his name is right at the moment. However, they got married, and I think Mr. Walker is what I was calling him when I was watching the show. Mr. Walker, and he is he's like this advertiser, right?
Right.
And so he gets to the point where she basically her hair starts falling out, and so what she does is she starts to create this cream to help her hair. So essentially she builds this this hair and cosmetic line. So and I don't want to take too long to talk about it. His name's Charles Walker, Mr. Walker. It's the respect. You put the respect on Mr. Walker's name. Mr. Walker. But anyway, not to get too deep into it, because I encourage everybody to go and watch the Netflix series. It came out back in 2020. She was like the back in the day everybody knows who Mary Kay is, and Mary Kay sells cosmetics and all of this. She was like the first Mary Kay. You know what I'm saying? Which I
Right.
think is pretty dope for a black woman to be able to do that. She was a millionaire. She built her own house. She had women selling her products. She paid them very well to sell her products. They remember how Mary Kay. I don't know if you knew anybody. My mom sold Mary Kay,
Right.
and so I don't know if you remember. Mary Kay ladies would go door knocking. Like they were doing this before Mary Kay was doing it. So
Right.
like she was pretty dope. Like, and you know, she had this big, huge house in New York. She had, during a time when, you know, people didn't have all of the amenities and stuff in their houses. She had all of that. And all because she had a problem that she was trying to solve herself.
Right.
You know, the problem was hers. You know, she had a daughter. Her name was Alelia Bundles. That is, I believe it's her great granddaughter.
Okay.
And so she is an author. And so she has kind of spearheaded, you know, writing this book about, you know, Madam C.J. Walker and telling her story and telling the story of Alelia. You know, and just really bringing, making people aware of what she was doing like back in the day. And how does that relate to, you know, women and minorities now? Like, if you have a problem that you're trying to solve for yourself, look at how you can really, you know, change somebody else's lives. Who would have thought that she would have been able to create these products, which are currently being sold now,
Right.
that would be able to help somebody else. And so sometimes we think about just solving problems for us, and we don't realize how that one small thing could, you know, change the lives of other people too.
Right.
And so with that being said, she is our highlight of today's episode. Shout out to anybody who is a part of the Walker family who has purchased those products, because I'm pretty sure it's sulfur, and they said she used sulfur and oil. It was some kind of pomade that they made, but like you think about that, shoot. Y'all know that's the type of stuff we used to use on our hair growing up.
Right, of
So
course.
like she was making some dope stuff back in the day. She did her thing. So
I think you said something key in all of that is solving a problem.
yeah.
And when you solve the problem of many, or you service many, or you find a way to serve many, then I believe you're doing God's work. And
Yeah.
you will be blessed in that work, as she was.
Yeah, she did her thing. So, and she was a very, very beautiful lady. They have so many pictures of her and her fancy cars and, you know, that kind of thing. And so it's just dope to see that, you know, people were really paving the way back in the day. And if you think about it now, we have so many women who are in the beauty industry. We're not allowing people to just take this multi-billion-dollar beauty industry and run with it without us getting a piece of that.
Right.
You know, and I think that, you know, really kind of speaks to, you know, a lot of our here in the last several years, I don't know if you had noticed, a lot of our Black-owned beauty products were being housed in Target, and now we're talking about cutting DEI initiatives and things like that. And so, I think it's important for us to continue to push forward and showcase a lot of the Black-owned or minority-owned beauty brands
Right.
to our community, and find platforms for us to be able to showcase those for people who need those products. We don't just get them
Absolutely.
because they're Black owned. They have minerals, oils and minerals that are good for our hair, and we want to be able to know where to get those and
Absolutely.
use those. So anyway, that's
Indeed.
all I have on that.
And that was really awesome.
Thank you. I'm passionate about hair.
Are
You
you?
know, a lot of I a lot of people think I try to say, oh, you have good hair, like define good hair. I think all hair is good hair.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
As long as you got something on your head.
Yeah, once you get bald, it ain't nothing but a little bit of oil,
Little earls,
little earls.
little juices and berries.
That's it. So with that being said, thank you all for watching this episode. If you get the opportunity to go and watch the Netflix, or I think that there are some other videos out there that you can watch about the documentary on Madam C.J. Walker. Do that. If you have information, if you want more information about the cargo van, the independent contractor cargo van stuff, comment in the comments that you're interested in that, and we'll see if we can get some more information like that linked to the website, or post a link for you to go to find that information. Outside of that, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. If you liked it, please let us know. If you didn't like it, that's cool too. Let us know. With that being said, thank you for tuning in, and we will catch you on the next one.